Good morning, family. Welcome to Morning Delight. Today is Wednesday, August 30th. Let's begin by greeting our Heavenly Parent and True Parents. Chanjian, Champominamge, Kiambe. Hado. Now for our family pledge, let's welcome Pastor Milhan Stevens.
가정맹세 1. 처녀급 주인 우리 가정은 참사랑을 중심하고 본향 땅을 찾아 본연의 창조 이상인 지상 천국과 천상 천국을 창건할 것을 맹세하나이다. 2. 처녀급 주인 우리 가정은 참사랑을 중심하고 하늘 부모님과 참부모님을 모시어 천주의 대표적 가정이 되며 중심적 가정이 되어 가정에서는 효자, 국가에서는 중심, 세계에서는 성인, 천주에서는 성자의 가정의 도리를 완성할 것을 맹세하나이다. 3. 하늘국 주인 우리 가정은 참사랑을 중심하고 4대 심정권과 3대 왕권과 홍족권을 완성할 것을 맹세하나이다. 4. 자녀급 주인 우리 가정은 참사랑을 중심하고 하늘 부모님의 창조 이상인 천주대 가족을 형성하여 자유와 평화와 통일과 행복의 세계를 완성할 것을 맹세하나이다. 5. 자녀급 주인 우리 가정은 참사랑을 중심하고 매일 주체적 천상세계와 대상적 지상세계의 통일을 향해 전진적 발전을 촉진화할 것을 맹세하나이다. 6. 자녀급 주인 우리 가정은 참사랑을 중심하고 하늘 부모님과 참부모님의 대신 가정으로서 자녀를 움직이는 가정이 되어 하늘의 축복을 주변에 연결시키는 가정을 완성할 것을 맹세하나이다. 7. 자녀급 주인 우리 가정은 참사랑을 중심하고 본연의 혈통과 연결된 위하는 생활을 통하여 심정 문화 세계를 완성할 것을 맹세하나이다. 8. 자녀급 주인 우리 가정은 참사랑을 중심하고 자녀급 시대를 맞이하여 절대 신앙, 절대 사랑, 절대 복종으로 신인의 일체 이상을 이루어 지상 천국과 천상 천국의 해방권과 석방권을 완성할 것을 맹세하나이다.
Thank you, Pastor Milhan. Now for our opening prayer, I'd like to invite Mimi-san. Mimi-san, could you please unmute and pray for us today?
Yes, thank you.
Thank you.
Let's pray. Dearest Heavenly Parent, True Parent, 사랑합니다. 감사합니다. Heavenly Parent, today the Heavenly Calendar unsealed new start week, 8 days, and we are so grateful. Centering on you, we brother and sister gather together, start new days, new week. Heavenly Parent, we really grateful to you, and you send True Parent on this earth, and we very pray for True Mothers, good health and safety, and we as the children, we really want to make our True Mother happier. Heavenly Parent, True Mother is embracing all this us and all humankind as a as a mother, Heavenly Parent, we are so grateful to Mother. We officially start this day with the resembling of your heart, your love. We challenge to any circumstance, difficulties, and please guide us. And this precious time, morning devotion, light, Heavenly Parent, and guide each of us to really feel your love and your heart through the fundoke and the give and take action of brothers and sisters. I offer this with the brother and sister deeper prayer through the name of Haruhiko Mimako Yukawa as Blessed Central Family. Adieu.
Adieu. Thank you, Mimi-san. Okay, family, let's take a few moments to share our gratitudes, and we'll be back in 5 minutes. Welcome back, everybody. Hope you had a good sharing. Pastor Milham, would you like to share with us today?
I thought you might call on Yaku-san, but I'm happy to share if you want me to, because I talk a lot. But
I do.
okay.
We
Well,
do.
I'm grateful for prayer. I you know me, I believe that prayer really works. It doesn't do everything, but it's the first thing. And it allows heaven to work, because they can trust that when they invest in us, they will be liberated. They will be resurrected through us. So, yesterday, and Kathleen told me how she's been praying once, sometimes even twice a day for my one prayer request. Did everyone know what my one prayer request was? To live in Harlem permanently. And I knew it was a long shot, but I didn't care. Well, actually, I said, okay, maybe in New York, but really I wanted Harlem. And I knew it was a long shot, and everyone's saying, no, don't do that. And I'm like, I want this one. And then, so it was coming down to the wire, because school is about to start. And so Apostle Rama, I told her about my situation. She said, do a 24-hour fast. It's like, wow, I hate fasting. It's the last condition I will do. I promise you. I'm like, okay, well, that's the exact condition I have to do then. So I did it. And the conclusion from that time after the prayer was focus on Psycha 100%. So I was like, okay. So instead of going to the GPA program on Friday, which is like that, there were 8 guests at this program, right? 8 guests came to our Friday night, and I said, no, I'm going to spend time with my family. And so we went to the Science Museum. Toshio-san was there, and just miracles happened after that. When Psycho was getting more involved, we had time to talk. Just everything just cascaded beyond me. It was like, this is heaven's work, and the school is perfect. And just the more we think about it, the more we feel, yes, this is right. This is right. So anyway, I'm talking too long. I'm grateful for prayer.
Thank you. I was thinking early this morning when I woke up, like around 3, that the school was actually blessed to have your children there. These are 3rd-generation children. These are very special children, and I don't think we should ever forget that. So this school is very blessed. They did the right thing. They made a good choice.
What's the name of the school?
Success
Success
Academy.
Academy. It's so cute. They call the kids scholars. They don't call them kids or children. They call them scholars. They wear uniforms, and I love it. It's great.
When do they start school?
On Wednesday next week, the 6th.
The 6th.
It is 6th. When is that? The next week, right? Yeah, 6th. Wednesday. This week from today. And they start really early in the morning too. So I like that.
How early?
The 7:45, I think they let in.
Okay.
But from 7:20 they can line up.
Right after Morning De-Lite.
Telling you, it's just clockwork. Yeah.
Well, thank you for sharing. Thank you. We're all, rooting for you and your family. I'm so happy. We're so happy, for you. Thank you. Okay, brothers and sisters, now it's time for our Godable reading. We're reading from the Mother of Peace, our True Mother's memoir. Pastor Milham.
Let's jump right in.
Welcome to Mother of Peace, and God shall wipe away all tears from their eyes. A memoir by Hak Jahan Moon, a production of the Washington Times Global Media Group, narrated by Alison Hiroto. Give us this day. When Jesus' disciples asked him to teach them how to pray, his answer was clear. Give us this day our daily bread. 2,000 years have passed since Jesus taught us that prayer. However, there are still so many people, more than we imagine, who do not have daily bread. Africa is the birthplace of human civilization, yet some African people live in circumstances so poor that their primary goal is having enough to eat. This fundamental human need is often not met, and the opportunity for basic education is also limited. Many face this situation. Each time I visit Africa, I seek solutions to these issues, which I take very personally. When the Sunhawk Peace Prize Committee announced its 2019 theme, Human Rights and Human Development in Africa, I was delighted because it addressed the task I have always set for myself. Akinwumi Ayodeji Adesina, President of the African Development Bank, AFDB, and Waris Deary, a human rights activist, our 2019 laureates, are examples of what I have always thought of as righteous people of action. Dr. Adesina was born to a poor farming family in Nigeria. From a young age, he researched methods to modernize farming and nurtured the dream of making Africa a land of abundance. After earning his PhD in agricultural economics from Purdue University in the United States, he returned to Africa and for the last 30 years has worked on agricultural innovation, helping millions of people overcome the problem of hunger. In February 2019, during his visit to Korea to receive the Sunhawk Peace Prize, Dr. Adesina said that there was still much for him to do to make the world a better place. Nothing is more important, he said, than eliminating hunger and malnutrition. Hunger is an indictment on the human race. Any economy that claims growth without feeding its people is a failed economy. Nobody has to go hungry, white, black, pink, orange, or any color you can think of. That's why I am fully dedicating the whole of the $500,000 award of the Sunhawk Peace Prize to my foundation, the World Hunger Fighters Foundation. Dr. Adesina's dream of peace is to discover the actual means to bring it about. I encouraged him never to give up his noble work. The other Sunhawk Peace Prize laureate for 2019 was Ms. Waris Deary, an African woman of remarkable willpower who has overcome many virtually insurmountable obstacles. Ms. Deary was born into a Somali nomad family. While her childhood was fraught with civil war, hunger, and oppression, she had big dreams and challenged herself and her circumstances. Eventually, she became a celebrated supermodel. In 1997, she revealed her own experience of genital mutilation, FGM, and her life changed. On behalf of millions of African women, she took up the cause of eliminating the practice of FGM. The United Nations appointed her Special Ambassador for the Elimination of Female Genital Mutilation. She supported the Maputo Protocol, which prohibited FGM, and was ratified by 15 African countries. Also, in 2012, she played a significant role in introducing a UN resolution prohibiting FGM, which gained unanimous approval by the General Assembly. Ms. Deary did not stop there. She founded the Desert Flower Foundation, which mobilizes doctors in France, Germany, Sweden, and the Netherlands to treat victims of FGM. In several locations in Africa, she runs educational institutes that help women stand on their own feet. Female genital mutilation is neither a religious nor an ethnic tradition. It is nothing other than a violent abuse of girls. This abuse of removing part of the external genitals of young girls is not only a means of oppressing women, but it is also life-threatening. Waris Dirie has devoted her life to eradicating this heinous custom, and global organizations have responded to her efforts. One can only imagine how difficult a path she traveled. Waris Dirie's goal has also been to help women in Africa and to see women empowered. In Africa, women are on the front lines in the battle for life as they strive to protect their families. They also play a central role in their nation's economy. We should therefore be deeply aware how this violence against young African girls injures them physically and often cripples them emotionally. The African peoples are tremendously good-natured. They love their families, respect their neighbors, and live in harmony with nature. Nonetheless, as it has everywhere in the world, Western modernization has brought Africa mixed blessings. Its prosperity comes at a cost of destroying family and tribal traditions. I believe that Heavenly Parents' love will strengthen indigenous African values that support interdependence and mutual prosperity, and will wipe away Africa's tears. The Sunhook Peace Prize is painting a beautiful picture of the new century by honoring men and women who represent the best we can be. It embraces all people as one human family. The prize is a stepping stone into a better future. It is a friend to righteous people who labor with a true heart. It is planting seeds of peace that will grow into beautiful trees of life and knowledge-bearing, nourishing fruit in this home we call Earth. In this chapter, I have presented to you, the reader, the scale of my life, from my grandmother's struggle for liberty among a colonized people to the last days of my God-sent husband's glorious life, to my years of mourning, to the new global horizons that he and I are opening today. Now, I invite you to wend your way through this story as it unfolded, breathing its air with me, tasting the bitter and the sweet, finding the needles in the sandstorms, and discovering with me our Heavenly Parents' hand in every moment.
Thank you for listening to Godable.
Thank you, God, your parents, for these words today. A little hard to describe, but I'm very moved by today's episode. We think about Africa, and we often think of poverty in Africa and just feeling like they need to be saved and stuff like that. But when I take God's point of view, Africa really saved America for 400 years. Just preserving the heart of God, the God who has been enslaved by Satan and has been trying to reach freedom. This is how God has been. And so it was the African people that have been carrying, Christianity and has been preserving so many things for America. And even the school that we're going to, it's mostly Black, but I feel safe there. I feel safe there because I'm sure because of that old African culture that has still preserved the family, even though with all the horrible things that happened in slavery, that God has been preserved. And so I feel so blessed. Yes, we are a blessing to be there. Okay, but we're also so blessed by being there. We spent some time with Apostle Orderson. So we have two African brothers who've been staying here, and their situation is kind of difficult, but they're planning to leave today to, they found a sponsor in Indiana and that they're going to have to work things out with them. So they're leaving today ahead of schedule. But you know, they were so grateful to be here, and they never expected that they would have this kind of treatment. And of course, they're not talking about the great accommodations. I mean, our accommodations were kind of a joke, but the love and the family and they could eat, and they didn't have to pay too much to stay here, and they was just he was so grateful. And you know, I was, of course, he was saying thank you, and I said you're welcome, but I told him, you know, through you I have rebirth. I have a like a new experience here in Harlem. And it was we had a pizza party the other day. Me, you know, Saika, and you know, organized a movie night with all the people living here, because no one knows the last time we ever had such a gathering. And you know, so they had. He said he never had pizza since he was a little kid. So maybe there's one special occasion, but this is the second time he ever had pizza, and he was telling his kids, and they're like, "What? You had pizza?" Like they were so excited. And then yesterday they had curry, curry and rice, and he's like, oh, "This is delicious." I'm like, is this your first time? He's like, "Yeah, my first time eating curry." I'm like, "Wow." And I told him, you know, I've had curry countless times since I was a little kid, or since I was a baby even. But through you, I can eat curry for the first time. So really, the blessing is ours that you can be here. And you know, they're both good dads, wanting to study theology in UTS, and so I you know, I asked about how LGBT is, and just like I'm asking about LGBT in this school, I'm asking him about how is it in his country. And he said there's some incident where there's like one, you know, two men wanted to get married, and the government didn't allow it. And so the Secretary General of the United Nations flew to Malawi to just push this agenda. And he was like, why would the Secretary General of the United Nations come to my little nation of Malawi, which is like wedged between like Tanzania, and it's like in a little bit southeast of Africa? Like, why would the Secretary General come here for this? Nothing else, but for this topic. And it just, you know, we talk about here, but like the West, or this I don't know, this demonic influence. Where's all this money coming from to support these things? And so we both agree, like, this world is, yes, there's a lot of hope, but we also have to be wise right now, and we have to realize how important our task is to protect the generation of children in today's world. I told them, because they're trying to outlaw, you know, homosexuality completely in the country. And I was like, wow, I want to move there, you know. that's what I said. Like, I'll move to your country. Of course, we have to do our work here, but yeah, let's go into the highlights. Give us this day our daily bread. So, and yes, yet some African people live in circumstances so poor that their primary goal is having enough to eat. And you know, when I mentioned, oh, please join us for a DP study and we'll have dinner, he texted me back in his own language, like, oh, praise the Lord, and like, we, you know, that for this feast. And so, you know, America is so blessed, but unless we bring people from outside in, we don't feel the blessing. But when I see the joy in his eyes, I just like, wow, this is just a plate of curry and rice, but for him, it's like a feast. And like, wow, what a blessing that is for all of us. Yeah, True Mother, you know, True Mother's not talking about herself. She's talking about these amazing people, these Sunhawk Peace Prize awardees. Great, like, nothing is more important, he said, than eliminating hunger and malnutrition. I believe this to be true. We have to feed the children good nutrition. Feed the children good nutrition. And I mentioned this before. I don't talk politics too much, but a lot of Republicans don't like Obama, but they have nothing to say about Michelle Obama, because she talked about nutrition and children, and it's like, okay, well, that's good, So, but it's funny, but it's child nutrition for me is the number one thing, but it's not just a physical thing, food, but it's a spiritual thing too. So as long as we get that right, they'll fix whatever mess we make. Women empowerment is huge. This genital mutilation is just it's just a sad misunderstanding of women's role, men and women. So yeah, the courage that Wari's diary has is really, really honorable to fight back against this. And also just the way she does it. I mean, I've seen her, I'm not sure if I've met her in person, but just the way that she conducts herself, very respectable, of course, fashionable, just really elevates the dignity of women. And that's, gosh, who knows? I can't imagine what she had to go through, besides overcoming her own situation. But yeah, again, mother's talking about other people, not herself right now. Western modernization has brought Africa mixed blessings, strengthened indigenous African values. I was talking to John. He's interning at the United Nations, and he's saying that now the UN is in a very, very bad place right now. So Mali, Reverend Dase's country, they just dropped out of the United Nations. Just dropped out in very short notice. They're just sick and tired of the United Nations because they have nothing to do with their country. It's very expensive, and they just want all these people out. And they're like puzzled. They don't understand. It's like, well, obviously, you're not there to help Africa. You're not there to help Mali. You're there to just push your own agenda. They have a very fundamental misunderstanding of what Mali wants. What is their interest? And it's to strengthen their own values, and they're not interested in this Western, I don't know, these ideologies that are coming in, and also kind of pitting the different groups against each other. Anyway, it's like, so as the UN fails to kind of remember its founding purpose, this is where we need to shine now, and we need to help the United Nations realize its purpose, like a good mind and body unity. So this is, yay, WiseP can figure this one out with UPF and SPED. Okay, the prize is a stepping stone into a better future. Exactly right. And so this paragraph is the opening of the whole book, which we're about to re-enter again. This line is perfect. Just please discover with me our Heavenly Parent's hand in every moment. Not just mother's life, but reflect on your own life, my life, and how God has been a part of so many, every turn. And so mother is so good with words here. Really just it makes you want to cry. Like, just filled with hope. Just to see how God is working today. Thank you.
Thank you, Pastor Ron. Thank you. Great reading. All right, brothers and sisters, let's take a few moments to share our reflections. We'll be back in a few minutes. Thank you, everyone. Welcome back. Beryl Green, we didn't give you a chance to share. Would you like to share today, Reverend Beryl Green? You would have to unmute. Thank you.
Oh, good morning.
Good morning.
Ooh. I came on late, so I didn't hear the reading.
Oh,
Yeah, because I woke up like early, too early, and then I fell back asleep, and then I woke up. And then
you can share about anything you like, Beryl. It doesn't have to necessarily be about the reading.
Okay. Well, I went. What I'm looking at is that we're living in a time and an age, where there's so I was listening to reports from our leaders meeting yesterday, and and the major thing that people were talking about, it was really about the Chunchuma and report, of people experience, people deep experiences, especially the young people. So I realized in this age, what is happening is that, Mother is taking us back to this point of prayer, that as individuals, we hear from God. When we go to God, we communicate with God. In the settlement era, we can really communicate with God, and God communicate with us, because people, most of the time, people don't pray. Right? People, you see, we have this prayer. It's like God had us, Manhattan family, right? With Pastor Milan, have us go back to praying, and have us set up this morning prayer after devotion, the morning delight, where we get a chance to pray. Because after morning devotion, we hear all the words, but we didn't get the chance to express ourselves as much. So when we get the chance to pray and praying for each other, it was beautiful. But so for me, this morning devotion light right now, we were doing, is bringing us together as a family. It creates community, and I think it's powerful. So when True Mother have us come together, whatever the generation, it doesn't matter. We are going back to God in prayer and communication, and I think when we do that, we can see differently. We can hear God, not just us talking to God, but also listening to God's response to us. So we're living in an age and time where things are different, and we're getting more deeper and more spiritual because of all these, chunching one that they're preparing for us to have a place to go pray and communicate. And that is wonderful. Because when you look at the Jewish people and you look at the Muslim, how many times a day they pray? They communicate with God. So, so that's what I'm thinking about, and said, we are living in an age and a time where we can really communicate with God better and do so out of habit, practice every day. Thank you. And I'm grateful for you and Morning De-Lite and all of us coming together as a family. Thank you.
Thank you. Well, we're grateful to you too, Bear. Thank you. Okay, brothers and sisters, before we start our 7 minutes of prayer, do we have any prayer requests today?
I'd like to ask if you could pray again for Pastor Ronald Miles and his family. His wife's name is LaShawn, Lashaun, and He is thinking about starting a new ministry. He has had cancer and he overcame that. He's talking of starting his own church again. And he's even thinking about the church right down the street here from the center. That's for sale. So if you pray for him and his health, and also he's open to studying divine principle with me. We had dinner yesterday, and I gave him an orange from the Cosmic Sabbath offering table. He loves Sabbath. He's kind of a Jewish Christian. Anyway, if you could pray for him and his collaboration with me and with us.
Yes, we will. Thank you. Any other prayer requests?
Just maybe for the guests that we've been witnessing to lately, good follow-up. Yumiko-san, every day she's showing me text messages that she's exchanging with the guests, and they're coming. So one guest came yesterday, and like I mentioned, a very good reading. He's Chinese, but he speaks Japanese. Amazing. So he was getting along. He's trying to send a really nice text. Actually, what was it he sent? Yumiko-san? The text from Shaw. Can I see that text again from Shaw? So he had a good experience rereading. We read Introduction and part of chapter 1. And his parents are not religious, but somehow he became interested in kind of spiritual reality. And here afterwards he wrote, thank you for coming. I'm sorry, no, this one. Yumiko-san, please thank everyone for their kind reception tonight, especially to Reverend Milhan and his beautiful family. I thoroughly enjoyed our meeting and your cooking with the ice cream for better digestion. Thank you so much and good night.
Oh, that's so nice.
So yeah, and he's the one who brought 3 guests himself to the Friday program. So anyway, it's amazing. And Wilson was there too. Wilson, they witnessed him together. So Wilson was here last night too.
Oh, good.
It was good for him too, I think.
These 2 African brothers that you mentioned, are they the ones that came to Sunday service?
That's right. Yes.
Let's keep praying for Reverend Green to come back from Jamaica as soon as possible. We miss him a lot. And let's continue to pray for Robert Hall that he can completely heal. I know right now he has to get a lot of rest. And it's a road to recovery. He's on the road to recovery. So let's pray for Robert and for Reverend Green. All right, everybody. So thank you. Let's begin. Or is there anything else for Pastor Milhan?
He is back home.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, we know that. Okay.
Thank you. All right, let's begin our 7 minutes unison prayer. Shija.
Good morning.
Loving Heavenly Parents, so grateful for being able to be together with Reverend Milhan, with Yumiko-san, breaking the throne with Alfonso, I'm Corey, who's not feeling so well today. Karen, to pray for his health also.
Which is coming up. I want to pray for all those
Pastor Miles and his wife LaShawn.
Miles,
Thinking of also the difficulty of having us be on the same page. His church, finding a new building at his church, Father. Our shop will be down in St. Matthew's Lutheran Church, which is too expensive. Father, for you to keep his health in his difficult journey, Father, his desire to mother can be alive. The parents, after all the stuff he's heard about us, he still wants to meet his mother. And that's so amazing. No, that might not be easy. Father, but how that dream that he has, or that hope, based off daily, without any initiation by me, would happen. That he can also meet up with Dr. Tony and get an adjustment. It can multiply this particular chemical reaction, Father. It didn't look good yesterday. He was very tired, Father, and I hope he doesn't have any resurgence of his cancer. Pray for his health, Father. Whatever it is, Father, let this unity that we have, the brotherhood that we have, Father, multiply. His love for Katie also, Father, who is basically the one who initiated give and take. God, pray for Pastor Miles and LaShawn's. Pray, Father, for the guests that came, all three other guests of Nicole and Wilson. Father, multiply his knowledge of the Bible and do all the things necessary for the growth spiritually. Pray for Reverend Green, for Beryl Green, Joel Green, the health, Father, the Caribbean ministry from Jamaica, Father. Jamaica has made such great contribution with music, with the sports, Father, inspiring so many people around the world, Father, using Bob Marley, all those amazing contributions of Joel, Jones, Father, Claire, the mother of Peace and the begotten daughter, Father, Anna Brooke. We're grateful for him and his roots, Father, here up in Syracuse. He grew up, Father, Maxwell Jones, his brother, and Grace Jones, famous actress and model, Father, who has gone to really hellish places. Father, that can really work with him and work and talk to each other about that. I pray for the Reverend, for Robert Hall, the big family, recuperate well, Father, and stay with us for many more years. Pray for the Tamagris, moments, Father, for the Silos, especially Kathleen, Father, to be blessed and have a spouse. Pray for Watson, John Appleseed Watson, for Yaakov, Halif, the family, human Tato family, for the Stewarts, especially in Cornell University, for the Ithaca College, the Hoovers, for the Lutz family, Father, in the spirit world and on earth. Mimi, thank you for her and Henry, for the Mile family, Hayo Chong, the Olsa family, the All family, Corey and Marco family, the Gorotowskis, Father, soon be blessed, and Sam, Melissa family, Father, pray for the Satos, for the Miles, the Marcus, Max, Father, for the May, Henry, and May Beth, and the Valentine family, Father, and for the Valentine family, White family, Poinson family, Robert and Tasha Moore family, Father. Pray again, Father, for the victory, the Success Academy, and scholars there, Father, and that this can be a mutual cross-fertilization, receptive in spirit, Father. Pray for Malawi to also walk out of the United Nations, Father. Pray for Mai, who walked out of the United Nations. Father, that's not the solution. We need to win these deranged people like the General Secretary, not knowing what's right from wrong, knowing that there's a man and a woman. That's not some stupid thing that he can social engineer. Pray, Father, for each one of my brothers and sisters that are mentioned today, Father. Miss Theory, Father, and also the man who is done to help feed the people from Africa. Please bless each one of them, Father, and the peace prize can to the great time, Father. I don't know when the next one is. Pray for Dr. Tony and Messiah to my family, Stephen Garland and Dr. Brother, sisters are now at the Junction 1 in Las Vegas, and the Junction 1 tour, Father, that Damien is doing. Pray for Bishop Kim, the Dunkleys, Father, the Ushiwodas, especially the Stevens family, and all the young people that are just getting up and standing up, Father, for your time. I pray for, especially also for meeting in China to be protected from all this nonsense that's going on here in the United States. Whatever way that we can just meet it up. Christian people everywhere standing up now. American Christians, Father, who are standing strong, Father, for morality, for ethics, Father, like Pastor Miles. He's very clear about continuity, Father, the church, for
Thank you, everyone. 7 minutes goes fast. Do we have any announcements?
There is a Chuncheon One live stream this morning. I shared the link with Mimi-san, but because she asked. So for those who'd like to participate in that, you know, we can share that link. I know they wanted to limit it to just the, a few people, but anyway, huh?
No, I was going to ask if it's coming from Korea or New Jersey.
That is Korea, I believe. Well, I think so. Just show you. Oh, it's national. Maybe it is national. You're right. I think you're right. Out of New Jersey. But yeah. If you want this link, I'll put it in the chat.
Okay, thank you.
That's it.
Okay, brothers and sisters, if we don't have any more announcements, then I hope you all have a wonderful day. God bless you, and thank you for coming.
Bye. Have a good day.
Have a good day.
Bye,
Have a good
everyone.
day.
Good day.
Have a good